Yeah, I'm now speaking with Matthew Sorg, 4th District City Council candidate. Matthew, from what I understand, this is your first time being involved in the political arena. What motivates you to get involved here?
It's like I was always taught from a young age that if you want to make a difference, you get involved in whatever your passion. You get involved in stuff to get passionate about it. You don't sit on the sidelines and complain and do nothing about it. You actually go and try to make changes. And it's like I come from my two different sides of the family. From my mother's side and my dad's side, it's like one staunch Democrats, the other one's staunch Republicans. So it's like I've gotten a fair balanced approach when it comes to viewpoints on different philosophies, on it's like what the average person needs versus what the balance between business and whatnot. And it's like you can't lean towards one, totally towards one, and not see how that affects the general working people more than the other, because it's like without businesses, people don't have jobs, and vice versa.
But, you know, that's the ideological background, but a lot of people have ideologies, but they still don't step out there. Which one of them had the activist spirit to go out there and be willing to take it to the people and interface?
Interface, part of it has to do with my involvement in Scouts, which Scouts is a leadership program, is basically what it is. It's like they train you from a very young, train you from elementary school through high school. It's like, here's how you deal with groups and work with people on projects and get things done, and they teach you to be very civic minded. It's like, I am an Eagle Scout. And it's like I had to earn 21 merit badges and work on an Eagle Scout project, and it's like my Eagle Scout project, I got people to build picnic tables, and I had to organize every last bit of it. It's like getting materials, telling each person what they needed to do, and organizing the steps that had to be done, and finally delivering the tables.
And, you know, experiences like that, how does that translate to the council arena? And because of the fan in here, you might want to speak on this a little bit more.
Experiences like that, I know they're on the small scale, but that's where you get the basic skills you need in order to learn to deal with people on a larger scale, as in dealing with businesses and just ordinary citizens, and finding out what their problems are and coming up with unique solutions to deal with those problems, and always being focused upon, it's like the government is for the people and not, or the government is to service the people, therefore it must do it efficiently and timely. And when you try to, sometimes when people deal with government, there's a lot of paperwork and just bureaucracy that ordinary citizens have to deal with. That's kind of annoying. It's like the average person trying to turn on their water when they're leasing a property from somebody, has to show their lease, show up in person. That's a huge hassle. That's a huge hassle for them compared to other utilities where they just call them up, give them their name, their social security number, and they just schedule an appointment and turn it on. It's like there just seems to be a bit of a disconnect between city utilities and other utilities and the way they approach dealing with people.
So what specifically, you know, made you say, I've got to get involved here because here are the changes that I want to see made? I mean, your pet issues.
Oh, pet issues. Some of my pet issues are just how the city works with run neighborhoods that are starting to run down, because they seem to, it's like they have code enforcement, but it only works based upon complaints alone. So you get one neighbor that's mad at somebody, they'll report them, but they won't report the other guy they like that still has a house that's worse than the guy that ticked them off. And then it's like a city code department running based upon revenge. It almost seems like it's based on revenge more than actual trying to improve overall neighborhoods.
Right now, there's a movement toward creating an identity for Fort Wayne, because some feel that it doesn't have an identity. And in fact, when you ask a lot of people, what is Fort Wayne, what does Fort Wayne stand for, you get all kind of no answers. When you're involved in council, what type of how do you see Fort Wayne being in the next few years? What kind of identity do you see here that we have that other people don't see?
The identity I've always seen with Fort Wayne has been, it's been a very family-friendly place, and to grow up, eventually date, marry, have kids, and grow old. And sometimes we forget about certain details of that, where it's like, if you want to have a family-friendly neighborhood, you want to make sure the businesses within those neighborhoods are for the general good of the public, and they're not discouraging families from living there. Because it's like there's certain questionable businesses that are basically adult-oriented or just selling drug paraphernalia. There, it's like the citizens of this city. It's like we need to stand up and discourage those businesses from operating within our thing. I know there's only a limited amount the city can legally do to discourage those businesses, but it's just not right, the fact that people are dealing with neighborhoods in which basically you look at the business district in them, and it's like even the business district doesn't care because they don't maintain their front or stuff like that.
What does it feel like, when you get in front of a union or a bunch of whatever it is that you're going to speak to? How do you engage with them,
Because I feel most people don't have confidence in the system, because they see it's like the only solutions they see anybody presenting are always top-down solutions. It's like, we got to have this program, or this person's got to, or this business or whatever has to do this, and people very rarely focus on the bottom-up solutions, because the bottom-up solutions may be the most difficult, or the most difficult to implement because they require the most number of people, but those are the changes that truly last in a society. Because it's like, even with the homeless situation in Fort Wayne, it's like, yeah, you could spend a lot of money, build bigger homeless shelters and whatnot, but what you really need is individuals to go and talk to these people, be their friends, keep track of them, and help them out on their daily basis with some of the struggles they have. Because some of these people, what they need is a friend, and they need as a friend for number one, because it's like they don't even know how to cope with regular society, and caseworkers and whatnot don't have the time required to sit through listen to their stories, give them suggestions upon how they can do very basic things on how to look for a job, or how to get off drugs and whatnot. It's like, I know this is a lot to ask for ordinary people, but it's like, I'm really just suggesting it's like they try to be their friends. I'm not saying they're going to solve all their problems for them, but the dignity they gain by having that one person who they know cares about them can make a lasting change.
Again,
yeah.
Where did that compassion for people come from? Because a lot of times leaders say, get off your butt and go get a job. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Just you can do this. You're an American. Just fend for yourself, and because if you get closer to starving, you'll find a way.
Yeah, some of my passion has to do with my my family has a handful of rental properties, so it's like my family's been dealing with or low income people on a regular basis, and it's like you get to know them fairly well on a personal basis for their struggles and whatnot. And it's like being a business owner, you have the hard choices to make where it's like you're trying to pay for the mortgage on the building and whatnot, and you never know whether they're trying to cheat you or not, and it's like by getting to know somebody on that level, you can feel the pain they have and the struggles. And it's like my faith, it's a great deal of it has to do with my faith background. My church has taught me a lot about you have to recognize the dignity in a person. It's like you can't just, it's like if you don't recognize the dignity in a person, how do you expect them to recognize the dignity in themselves? It's just saying it's like you have to do this, and it's like most of the time these people are struggling and they don't know how to get past it. And it's like it could be struggling from anything. It's like even trying to quit smoking is a struggle some people don't understand. It's like it's like a lot more people probably understand the concept of trying to lose a few pounds, where it's like, I know I need to get out and exercise, I just have no motivation to do it. That's when it's like, at least with the exercising thing, it's like if you get a friend that says, hey, let's go do this, that makes a world of difference in your motivation factor and your resolve to go through with it. Because it's like, it's just recognizing the dignity and that building friendships creates a lasting transformation. Because it's like when you it's like when you talk to your neighbor and it's like they need help fixing something or whatnot, and you go over there and do that. It's like that solves the problem versus just looking at them and saying, hey, why don't you fix that? And it's like just complaining to them doesn't do anything, but offering the help, that actually solves the problem.
Well, last thing here, what do you want to say to people who don't know you and you're a new guy on the block here, so to speak? What do you want to say to them to let them know that you can do the job for them?
Because it's like I truly believe every time I attend a city council meeting and whatnot, it's like I will always base it upon a personal approach to individual people. And it's like, how does that affect the end citizen? It's like it's like my goal is not worrying about this business or that business or this union and that union. It's about how does this benefit the average Joe? Because it's like, how does this get the average Joe a job? It's like, does this not cause any extra tax burden or does this not, or will this increase the average citizen's tax burden? Because sometimes it's like, yeah, you can have a great project, everybody will love it, but then when you look at the tax benefits to it, and it's like, how much the average person really pay for that? And it's like, do they really, it's like, is that what they really wanted? And it's like, these are all tough questions, and it's like, citizens, it's like leaders of Fort Wayne in the past few years have done a great job. There's been some questionable things and some disagreements people have had. It's like the money they've gotten from the power company that they're now calling the Legacy Fund. It's like they've already decided it's going to be called the Legacy Fund and it's going to be used for those projects, so that decision's already been over with. But it's like that money came from the electric ratepayers, and now it's being used for pet projects pretty much. And it's like, at first I always thought, it's like, yeah, that should probably be used for the sewage treatment program they're going through that's costing millions of dollars to do. That would have been a nice down payment, but since the decision's already been made and that's going past that, that's not really that's not really an area to focus on. It's like now it's just focusing on how do you best utilize that money, and it's like they're improving the riverfront. Yeah, that will be a great legacy towards Fort Wayne, increase tourism, and make downtown a lot more vibrant, because when you improve the downtown, you improve the image of the whole city alone.
So you're optimistic as to the direction where we're headed?
Yes. It's like I can see some great things happening in Fort Wayne, especially in the downtown area, because it's like 10 years ago, it was completely ignored. West Central had abandoned homes. Some of them didn't even have half their roof on them. And it's like over the past few years, you've been seeing people buy them up, fix them up, turn them into really nice homes. People want to stay in and live, or live permanently, and not just call a rental property.
Okay. Well, Matthew, thank you very much. Good luck with the candidacy, and thank you all for watching.